Welcome to Between Batches, where life happens between batches.
We're two friends figuring out life in what we lovingly call our queenager era.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Danielle.
So while something is coming together in the kitchen,
we're talking about everything else.
So let's get to what we're batching.
What are we batching today?
We are making a Churro Rice Krispie treat.
We are.
Yes.
These are a favorite at our church, my church. I make them there sometimes for our Wednesday night dinners. And this recipe is courtesy of Disney on the Dime. And we will share this recipe and tag them when this show airs. So first, to start off, we've got butter in the pot on the stove. Apparently, Ashley told me I could do this in the microwave, but I've never done it in the microwave, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I was like, I do them in the microwave all the time.
Yeah, so we are melting 12 tablespoons of butter, yes. And then we've buttered or greased our 9x13. If you're feeling not like messing with that, you can just spray it, which is what I did. And then we've got our 2 bags of mini marshmallows that we are going to add to the pot as soon as my butter finishes melting, which is almost done.
Yes.
And then Ashley, what do you have there?
We made our own little cinnamon sugar
concoction.
It's just cinnamon and sugar.
For the churro part?
Yes, for the churro part. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about faith. So it's faith in food, and we are feeding you the Rice Krispie treats that she makes for church. So
yes.
It felt pretty
appropriate.
Yes.
Faith and food do seem to go together quite a bit.
They really do. Yes.
We do love to feed people, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, our marshmallows and our butter are completely melted and combined, and there are no more lumpy bumpies, so I am going to cut the heat and pour in the Krispies.
And then I measured out a 1/4 cup of cinnamon sugar.
Yep, dump it on in.
I'm gonna dump that in there.
Yep, and we're gonna stir these up.
Stir.
Fast.
Yes.
And then we are going to, Ashley, if you want to take that pan over to the island.
And over here.
And we will...
Sorry, that was kind of loud, friends.
Oh, we should have saved a butter wrapper to smash these down.
Oh, yeah. That is always the tricky part with Rice Krispie treats, I feel like, is getting them adequately pressed in.
Yeah.
I always lather my hands in butter.
I just saved the butter wrappers.
That's a great idea.
And then you can just use the butter wrappers to like scoosh it down.
So you guys, I know we've talked about this on different episodes, like we need smell-o-vision, but this smells so good. I mean, butter and marshmallows, but then you add in the cinnamon and sugar.
I know.
It's really fun.
All right, so now we are just going, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Okay, we are just gonna push these down. And then as soon as I get these semi-wet level, we'll have Ashley sprinkle the tops with cinnamon sugar. I didn't do it for this pan, but sometimes if you're feeling froggy or want something a little different, you can add nutmeg.
Oh, that's fun.
Just a little bit. It's really good. And then also another thing that you can do, for some reason, this flavor lends itself really well to white chocolate. So you can either drizzle white chocolate or dunk them after you cut them if you want something like a little fancier.
Yeah, I'll cut them into little squares. And...
Oh, it smells so good. I want to lick this spatula.
No judgment here. I don't know about you guys, but there is.
Marshmallows and butter and sugar and cinnamon. I mean, what could be bad about that?
Where could you go wrong?
I mean, we measured that almost perfect considering we eyeballed it.
Mm-hmm. So I never measure my cinnamon sugar. I just know what color it should be.
Yeah. What color do you like your cinnamon sugar? Is
this color.
This color. Okay. So this is what she looks like, and we're gonna just set her over here and let her chill out and come to a more solid consistency, and then we're gonna cut them and try them.
Sounds great. We'll meet you at the table.
See you at the table.
Welcome to the table.
Yes, welcome to the table. And what is our topic today?
Our topic today is faith.
Yes.
So we are just gonna dive in, and we were just having a little side conversation about how this is kind of a big girl topic.
Yep. Big girl panties on.
Yep, they're on.
And remember, this is all our opinion.
Absolutely. And I don't think that it comes as a surprise probably to any of you, given some of our past episodes, that we are both evangelical Christians.
Yep.
And so we're just going to dive in.
If you want to get super specific, we both happen to be Lutheran Evangelical Christians.
LCMS.
LCMS. You know what that means. Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. So,
yes.
Okay, so let's just get right in. to the big one. Is it hard right now, or what do you feel? How is it to navigate today's world as a Christian, conservative Christian, wife, mom, all the things?
I mean, we're ripping the Band-Aid off.
Just rip it off.
Is it hard? I think that hard is like nuanced. I
Yes.
definitely think that the way that our world is with social media and just the political climate, like I'm just going to say that, like a lot of it, I think it does make it difficult. But I also think that we are all a lot more similar than the society would like us to think we are. The media specifically would like us to think that we are. And so I think it is navigating the nuances carefully. I mean, it is definitely sometimes I see things or hear things that have happened, whether it's in my kids' schools or in the world, and it does like you start to like get upset, and then I'm like, just have to release it. We have to pick our battles.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it is currently more difficult to be a conservative Christian than it has been in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that there is, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know who is behind it. I am not going to get into that debate or argument, but I think that there is definitely kind of this active pressure to divide.
I agree.
And specifically, I feel like it used to just be kind of like divide us politically, and now it is trying to divide us on every aspect of life, whether that's faith or politics or family or friendships, like just actively trying to put division anywhere it can. And so I do think an easy place for them to try to accomplish that, whoever these people are that like the division, is in faith. Even within the Christian faith, there is trying to be divisiveness and division. And I think we are in a current time period where it is just a little bit more difficult to navigate. And I think you really have to be careful what you believe and who you listen to. And what you repeat. And my
repost. I mean,
say my personal belief is that is the arguments that people are having on social media platforms are just a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't think that's the place for it. And I think that we as a society know that text messages and emails can be misconstrued. So trying to convince people of something online when it's in written format or even video format, like you're going to have a tough time.
Right.
So,
and it's really easy to be a keyboard warrior.
Absolutely.
And say a lot of things that you probably wouldn't say to somebody's face because it's harder when there is a human being looking you in the eyes and sitting across from you. It's a lot harder to be cruel. At least I would hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Than to just a screen that is a thing.
Yeah.
That can be turned off.
It definitely takes the humanness out of it.
Yeah.
And,
so I do think it's a little bit harder. I think it's harder to help our kids navigate it.
I think so too.
They're just exposed, I think, so much more than we were.
I agree.
And I think even as a wife, it's kind of funny if you look back on culture, right? Growing up, there was always very like specific lanes for you as a female, right? Like you go way, 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 way back when your only job was to get married and have children. And then you go back a little bit further and it was like, well, some of the rebels would take up the vote or whatever. And then, every kind of so many decades or centuries, not centuries, but you know what I mean?
Decades.
Yeah, decades. There's like this new arena. And so I know it was really popular when I was little was the 80s, and it was the working woman and the powerful woman and breaking the glass ceiling. And I know from my mom in the 60s, it was burning your bra and women's rights. And I think there's all pieces of value in there. But this is the first time I can really I think we're in an area now where it's like, we have been in a place where it was like, well, you shouldn't want to have a family and be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
You should want to have a career, and don't you want to be fulfilled, and don't you want this, to now where it's like women are finding fulfillment in that because you should. I mean, there's zero things wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, and that is a whole skill set, and it's worthy, and it's what God created us to do, is to have babies and raise families and all the things. But now there's this thing of like,
I think we're finally, I almost think it's starting to balance out. Like the pendulum like swings in one direction, goes in the other extreme. I think we're getting less extreme. And
With that, I would
people my age and a little bit younger than me are recognizing there is a way to have both. Kids are really important and they're valuable.
I kind of disagree.
Okay, well, I feel like I've done a pretty good job.
I think you have, but I do think, well, okay, so when I grew up, there was this whole, like, you can have it all. You can be the CEO and a full-time mommy that does all of the projects and goes to all of the class things.
Okay, that's not what I meant.
You cannot. No, it's a lie. They wanted everyone to believe that, but everything is a trade-off, right?
Yes.
So can you have a career and a family? 1,000%.
Yeah.
Are you going to be the perfect...
Well, no one is.
Look at like the stay-at-home room mom while being the CEO. No, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and that's just not a realistic expectation.
Yes, I agree with that completely. Yeah, but there is a way to do both, and you can have a family and have a career.
Absolutely.
You can,
but at some point, you do have to make choices.
Absolutely, and you can also choose to stay home, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's a great choice too.
I think that's harder almost than going to an office. I mean, think about it. If you're a stay-at-home mom with a bunch of kids, you don't get a day off. You don't get paid vacation. You don't get sick days. You don't get holidays. You don't have built-in coworkers to be friends with. Like, you actively have to work to have, like, friendships. And I have all the respect in the world for stay-at-home moms.
I do too.
It's a hard job.
It is a hard job. Yeah. So, that being said...
We knew we were going to go down some rabbit holes on this one. And
it's tough in this world. How do you navigate friendships with those from, your church life, but also those that are not Christians, or maybe you don't know if they're a Christian?
Yeah. So I think the one thing, and hubby and I have had a lot of conversations about this, and I think we have friends that are Christians. Obviously, we have lovely church family friends. We have other Christian friends that we don't necessarily go to the same church with, and we have friends that do not practice a faith currently. I think the one thing that has just always been important to us is that no matter if the other person is a believer in Jesus or not, or if we know that they are or not, it does not change how we behave.
I agree.
It does not change how we talk to them. It does not change how we behave around them. I mean, I would tell them if they're going through a hard time that, oh my goodness, when I'm praying today, I will add that to my prayers, just like I would tell you. Yeah. And if they are like, whatever, well, okay, fine, but I'm still going to do it because
I believe.
Yeah. And so I think that's just been our big thing, is like, it doesn't really matter to us. Either way, would our preference be that they love Jesus? Of course.
Well, and I think here's the thing, because I'm with you. Like, we've had very similar conversations. We treat everybody. Exactly. We love them. Like, we love people, and we're going to love on you and bring you into our home. And I'm going to pray for you. And the fact of the matter is, bottom line up front, I want to see you in heaven. Like, I want you to be there with me. And so
1,000%.
I am gonna prefer that you are, but if you're not, like,
then I'm just gonna keep praying about it.
Yes.
And ultimately, I'm not Jesus.
Right.
I'm not God. I don't get to make those decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
I think we all just do our best, and I think we just don't treat them I don't act any differently around my non-Christian friends than I do around my Christian friends.
Yeah. And I bring you all along for the same ride.
100%.
Yes. How does God play a role in your marriage? I know
That's a
during
good
our
one.
our marriage episode,
Mhm.
we did talk a bit about this, so we probably don't need to dive
Too
too
deeply.
deeply, but
No. If you want the deeper dive, go back and watch Marriage and Margaritas.
episode 5.
That was a fun episode. It's part of our everyday life. So it's not, at least not anymore. It's not a conscious thought of how do we put God in today in our marriage? It just is what it is, right? If there's a hard time, we pray about it. If we're having trouble making a decision, we pray about it. If it's more of a real time heart issue that we need some active help with, we go to our pastor. I go to my Bible a lot for guidance. I mean, it's just.
Well, and I know one of the sayings in our house is, have you prayed about it as much as you've talked about it?
That's a good one.
Because if there's I don't even want to say problem, like it could be anything like that we're having a conversation about, that I can see like conflict is maybe gonna come out. It's like, okay, who are we talking to about this? Because I think the conversation between me and my spouse is great.
Right.
Are we gossiping with other people, or are we taking it up to God? And I think that's not only with with my spouse, that's probably even more with my kids than it.
Well, and our friends, right? So I will say that is one area where we are very protective in our marriage, where there might be a slight difference in our Christian friends and our non-Christian friends. If there is something that comes up and I do need to talk to somebody about a heart issue or a marriage issue, something like that, I am more likely to discuss that, if I have to discuss it outside of my husband and I, with one of my strong Christian married, actively seeking the Lord friends, than with somebody who maybe doesn't, because it's important to me that they respond to me and advise me in a way that I know is Christ-centered.
I agree completely with that, for sure. I'm seeking counsel from someone. There's a great saying that I know we both know, that's like, you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so I want those people to be someone who is grounded in faith. And so
okay.
I know. How does God show up in your kids' lives and friendships?
Wow. That's hard to separate from just who they are.
I agree.
I will say I am very grateful that we have raised 2 really strong, faithful Christian young people who love the Lord and love their friends and love their family, and use the Bible and God as their baseline in life. And now that doesn't come without its
for sure. There's still 1 kids and 2 human. And we know that we are all sinners. And I guess I'll just say that from the get-go, in case you're not familiar with our particular evangelical Christian. We acknowledge that we are all sinners, and
if we were not sinners, we wouldn't need God.
Right. And every day we sin, and every day
we ask for forgiveness. And we try to do better.
So just know that in no way, as we are saying these things, am I perfect? I don't think Danielle would claim to be either. And,
oh my gosh, no, farthest from.
Yeah, and it's a work in progress.
And so is our kids. I mean, 1,000%. But I think when you have that base, you always have a spot to go back to, and a place to start over from. But I just love when my kids will say, "Mom, I prayed for this," or "I prayed to that," or "My friend's going through a hard time. Can we pray for them?" Or,
well, and I love, kind of along the lines of you're the 5 people you spend the most time with. My daughter has attracted, I guess is the way that I will say it, just some really awesome people. And they've had great conversations about faith too.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome that they have the confidence in who they be and who God is, to be willing as a teenager to have those conversations. Because sometimes as a 40-something-year-old woman, I have reservations about having those conversations. And I don't think anyone navigates it perfectly, but
No.
I just love that and she'll come to me and say, hey, we had this conversation, and seeing the kind of childlike faith, I guess, and my son is just, I don't know, it's really cool. Like
Really cool.
I love these four little, I say little people.
They're
Yours
not little
aren't
people
really that
anymore.
little,
I know.
either,
I've
but
got old and
middle.
an adult. 2
I
adults.
guess they're both adults, aren't they?
2 adult children. But it is just to watch them still walk in that faith, and to see my son still go to church even though he doesn't have to. He's a full grown man. And my daughter, not only go but love it, and she is, we've talked about this before, the ultimate extrovert. And so the moment she sees someone at church she hasn't seen before, she is the first person over there saying hello. And I just know that is her gift from the Lord.
Yeah.
And just to see my son interact, with some of the people at his work, and the way he talks with them, is his gift and from the Lord. And I think to see them do the little things to draw themselves closer to the Lord that you didn't tell them to do,
Yes,
is always such
it is
an amazing thing.
It really is. It's really cool.
It is really cool. It's like my favorite part of mothering little adult humans.
Yes, and I know, like, I've loved to see my daughter's had the chance to go to like a couple of different camps in the summertime, and she's brought a friend with her who was admittedly like, I don't really know what I'm doing, I don't really know what this stuff is all about. And her mom and I had a great conversation about is she gonna feel left behind because it was a Christian camp? Is she gonna feel like she doesn't know what's going on? And I was like, no, it'll be wonderful. And I think it was so great for her and for their friendship to get to do that together. It was pretty cool. And then to watch them serve. My daughter teaches Sunday school at our church, and it's so fun, the friendships that she's made with like the little people and the ones that look up to her. We saw one of those friends just recently, and her mom was like, so she came up to me and said, Mom, I'm really sad that my daughter is going to be a senior next year. Like, I don't want her to graduate and leave. And like, it's just so cute. Like, I love that friendship that they've built. Yeah. And the other influences that they're having, and like people that are looking up to them.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's wonderful. I love it.
Me too.
Oh, our babies that aren't such babies anymore. I love them so much. Okay, so how is it being a faithful Christian, and how does that impact like your daily life decisions?
I think for me, my daily life decisions, the little decisions, you probably don't see me like pause so much and have a deep conversation with God. But I think I heard it on a podcast once. I think it was Candace Cameron Bure's podcast. It was about prayer. And she was talking about how like you can pray throughout the day. Like, it doesn't have to be this like big event, like in the morning and in the night. And I was like, I do that all the time. Like, I feel like my day is a constant like woven prayer. And whether it's conscious or subconsciously that I'm doing it. But it impacts, every decision probably that I make, whether it's a conscious, like, I know that the Lord is impacting this or not. It is definitely from, how am I going to dress, and what are my, what's my kid eating for breakfast, I suppose. There's a prayer before we eat. But yeah, like, and then
making sure like it's nourishing for them. Right? Yeah.
And then like, am I serving others? Because as you guys have probably gathered, as we've done these podcasts, that is a big value for me, is serving others and helping and watching things nourish and grow. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. I think I am getting better at praying throughout my day. One thing that I'm really focusing on right now is praying not just when I need something, but more when I don't need anything, and just kind of like that prayer of thankfulness. But it does affect literally everything. Clothing, financial decisions, what we give our money to, what businesses we give our money to, where we eat, shop, purchase things, what we watch on television. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not like, this isn't Christian, I'm not watching it.
Absolutely.
But there are some times where you feel very convicted, usually negatively, by something that a company has done. And so then you maybe choose to not spend your money there anymore. And we all have that right. And that is a wonderful thing. And I think, you know, there are times where, again, because we're imperfect humans and we sin all the time, that you make a decision that maybe isn't based in God as much. And that's where it's helpful to have a faithful spouse or a faithful friend that's like, I think that's the best choice right now. And they can find a nice way to say it, but a lot of times my husband will be like, hey Danny, are we maybe gossiping? And I'm like, I probably, you know, like, shouldn't talk about that, or, you know, whatever. And not that you're not allowed to have opinions about things that people do, but you need to make sure that it's coming from a point of it happened specifically to you, so that you have a right to talk about it.
And I think, like, I have a kind of philosophy that I'm not great at, so don't get me wrong. But, like, if I'm not willing to have this conversation with the person, should I be having the conversation about the person?
Correct. And I will a lot of times, like, if I'm talking with somebody and I say something about somebody else, I will make sure I say, hey, I have already had this conversation with them. They know this is my feeling on this, and they're okay with me sharing. Because that is an area, I feel like the devil, if you want to go there, really finds his inlets, especially with Christians, in the little everyday sins that we don't think about, and not the big ones, right? Like, we're not running around murdering people or committing adultery or, you know, those massive 10 commandment sins. But the little 10 commandment sins, like gossip and honoring your mother and father and coveting your neighbor's things, and, you know, those are where he really likes to get his little paws in. And so that is where it's helpful to have a spouse that will be like, or a best friend, that will be like, maybe we should back that up a little bit. And you're like, okay, yeah, let's change the topic, or yeah, you're right, or, you know, those things. But I do think, and I'm glad for it, that it becomes part of your everyday process, almost subconsciously, like you were saying. It starts to just affect everything that you do. And the older I get, honestly, you think about your days are numbered. And when I leave, will people say that they knew I was a Christian, whether I told them on a podcast or just had a run-in with them at the grocery store? And I am not perfect. Listen, the parking lot road rage at Costco is real. It's crowded. I am not always the perfect picture. I have actually prayed for forgiveness a lot coming out of the Costco parking lot. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, in no way am I perfect either. And I just am very grateful that we have a Savior who died because I was sinful. Like, and he saved us. So,
praise Jesus, literally.
For real.
It's a real thing.
We are here with our little Rice Krispie treats.
With our Churro Rice Krispie treats.
They're still kind of
they didn't
gooey.
Quite.
They're not quite cooled yet, but that's okay. We like things when they're still warm. Cheers. Cheers with our stringy Krispie treats.
You were gonna say gooey.
Maybe that too.
It's in my ear. Oh, it's my ear.
Okay, these are really fun. I mean,
I recommend letting them set up all the way, but they're delicious.
I love cinnamon and sugar. And these are like a great, they're not like in your face, but they're, that's really good. Okay, so as you lick your fingers.
Yes, because that's what everybody needs to see.
What are you currently craving, Danielle?
Okay, well, I figured, so here's our rule with our current cravings. It has to be something that you are currently loving and that is making your life easier or better in some way. And if you watched episode 1, we described that. So in keeping with our theme of faith and something that makes my life better and that I use every day, I have brought my Bible. And I love my Bible because it is this really pretty pink leather, and it is getting darker and patinaed over time and as I use it. And you can see the pages are getting worn and it's all kind of marked up and
Bookmark.
and beautiful and bookmarked, and there's coffee stains and all kinds of things, but there's a really beautiful story behind my Bible, and if you don't mind, I'll take a minute. It was after church one Sunday, and hubby was like, hey, I want to run into the used bookstore. I want to look for a book. I was like, okay, great. So we go, and I thought, I'm just going to go, like, see if they have a Bible.
Yeah.
And they had this Bible. Not only did they have a Bible, but they had a pretty Bible that was my favorite color, pink. And it was still in the package, and it was brand new. And it was even the version that I wanted. I don't know if you know, but there's like
different translations
of the Bible. And so it was the ESV, the English Standard Version. And it was like very, 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 very cheap. And it was brand new. And I was like, God sent me a Bible. So I got to get my Bible.
That's
and I was
awesome.
so excited. And so, yeah, it's been with me through all the things now.
I love that.
Thanks. What's your current craving?
So my current craving is not as deep, but it is something that I literally use every day and makes my life happier. So they're sparkly pens, and you guys, here, I'm gonna write on my paper while I talk to you, but they have just a little bit of shimmer.
Oh, that's so pretty.
And I don't know if you can see.
Can you see it? It's
Probably
like
not.
almost iridescent.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
And they come in a pack of like 8 different colors. I just brought 3 colors, but they work great on white paper, colored paper, black paper, all the things because they're shimmery. And as I'm writing, I work from home, and as I'm like writing notes to myself or to my kids or whatever I might be writing, they just make me smile because they're sparkly.
They are sparkly and pretty. Those would be a great gift.
They would be. And in fact, there is a little story that I'll make it really quick, but I was in a course last year in May, and one of the other girls in the course with me, she had a blue one and she was writing with it. And I was like, I love your pen. And she actually had just got a new pack, and so she brought me the blue one later that week.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
I love that.
Me too. That's very kind.
All right, so switching to our final segment of this episode, our question on the table, which is our question to you, our lovely audience.
Yes. Do you feel like this season or era of life has brought you closer to God or further away from your relationship with the Lord?
So I can answer that one very easily. Definitely closer. I feel like I just strive every day to be as close to Him as possible and make the choices for my life and my kids' lives and my husband's life that He would want me to make. And I feel like I turn to Him more than ever, not only for myself, but for family and friends. And I think especially going back to the rip the Band-Aid off topic at the beginning and the political climate, there's just that feeling of uneasiness. And I just really try every day to give that to Him.
Yeah, I agree. It has brought me closer as well. I think that a lot of that is just maturing in my relationship and myself. But I think that as I, parent, and as you said, with your spouse and just all of the things, I know that I can't do it on my own.
No.
And I just thinking about trying to do it on my own, and I'm so grateful that I can lay it at the foot of the cross and
you don't have to do it by yourself.
Yeah. All right, friends.
Right, so we
tell
want
us
to
in
know
the
from
comment. In the comment section, do you feel like this season or era of life has brought you closer to or farther away? And there's no right answer.
No, there's no right or wrong answer. Just whatever you're feeling, we want to hear from you and start a dialogue. And so if you felt like this particular episode spoke to you or would speak to a friend, we hope that you will like and subscribe and share with that friend. And until then, we will see you on the next episode.